What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a full breakdown of the Black Ops 7 beta patch notes, which just released and do contain a number of important changes. Definitely stay tuned. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, I'm currently live streaming as I'm recording this, giving away plenty of early access beta codes for those out there that do want to still jump into the beta from now until October the 5th. Zombies does go live in the beta in about, I want to say 45 minutes from when I'm recording this. That's going to be live until the 7th, but multiplayer will be live all the way until the 9th. The open access period, which does not require any type of code or pre-order, does begin October the 5th, just to be clear. So yeah, we got plenty of really important changes I want to get through. Also, it looks like Ted the bus driver himself is giving out beta codes over on Twitch. So Call of Duty will be live, I guess, periodically throughout today, maybe even throughout the rest of the early access period, and Ted will just be reading out actual beta codes that you can input at callofduty.com/redeem. Once you input a code or win one from one of my giveaways, it'll then ask you what platform you want to play on, and then from there it'll spit out a platform-specific code that you then go ahead and redeem on the Xbox Store or Battle.net, wherever that may be. So hopefully that's clear. Also, my sponsor in yesterday's video does also contain another method in which you can get a beta code for those out there that are curious. So with that being said, it is currently 11 Central. Let's take a look at the October 3rd patch notes for day 2 of the early access beta. There's also other content that won't be live for another couple days that we'll circle back to as well. As they wrote, thank you for sharing your feedback with us. It's been an awesome start to the beta so far, and we're just getting started. The team is already working on adjustments to the beta based on player feedback from the past 24 hours, and day 2 is about to kick off with the addition of Survival and Zombies, our new 6v6 map, Imprint. I know the graphic actually had this backwards. It said Imprint was going to be live yesterday. I think Exposure was going to go live today, but it's all right. Mistakes happen. And a new competitive MP mode, Overload, aka Boots on the Ground Uplink, which will be live in Black Ops 7 multiplayer. Here's the content coming in day 2 of the early access beta at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's about 45 minutes from now. We weren't sure what time day 2 was supposed to start today because yesterday they said it was going to be 10 a.m. Pacific for day 1 and it ended up being 9 a.m. Pacific. So typically when a beta begins, they'll just drop stuff like 30 minutes to an hour early. And that's what happened. So we got one new map for MP. We got Farm Survival and Zombies. Overload joined the mix, which is awesome. Don't forget Training Course is also an option for both MP and Zombies. And then we have Survival there. Upcoming changes based on feedback. This is huge. Time to Kill. It says TTK and overall weapon balance has been a conversation we've been keeping an eye on, along with evaluating in-game data from day 1 of the beta. While we're starting the beta with the TTK in the range of BO6, we're aware that some players feel it may be slightly faster than desired. I completely agree with this, by the way. As a result, we'll be releasing a weapon balance pass in the coming days to adjust TTK and ensure all weapons available in the beta are competitive within both their class and their intended role within Black Ops 7. We're excited to get these changes in your hands, and we continue to gather feedback and data to ensure our launch lineup of 30 weapons are as balanced and as fun to use as possible. That's the thing, chat. Like, I'm not looking for a super slow TTK, but it just comes down to weapon balancing. If some weapons are too overpowered, that's where you're gonna have TTK issues. And I feel like most folks out there who have been having, let's say, matchmaking or SBMM issues like I've been talking about, I think this change is going to be really helpful. I tweeted this out yesterday for those that missed it. Loving how fast-paced the beta is, but I swear my lobbies weren't even this sweaty on LAN against the best players in the world, by the way. Championship-level players. Obviously, we weren't on LAN for too long, so looking at like a sample size of a couple million players is different from, 50 to 100 people that I was playing against on LAN. Obviously, you'll see different experiences with the gameplay, but with the way the matchmaking works, which is still just the SPMM we've come to understand for the last couple of years, I think this change is going to help out quite a bit so that it's not feeling like you're playing against super sweats of the world. Obviously, the movement also creates a bit of a skill gap with the multiplayer. That's pretty obvious. I'm okay with more skill gaps. I'm okay with doing jetpacks, wall runs, whatever they want to do, but if they adjust the TTK a bit, at least it'll feel like you can, stand a chance if you do get shot at first, not just one tap across the map, depending on what weapon that player is using. But, I think a slower TTK could maybe create situations or scenarios where double or triple kills could be more difficult. That I understand. So I think it's about striking a balance between making sure you can still get multi-kills, use good overpowered weapons, while also being in fair competitive gunfights that aren't too frustrating altogether. But I guess we'll see what changes are made. I'm assuming when the open access period begins on the 5th of October, that's when the biggest changes to the beta are going to get incorporated. But as far as doors do go, while there are no manual doors in the BO7 multiplayer maps, only 5 of our 16 maps at launch will have automatic doors. With that said, we are closely following the community discussion about doors on our beta maps and evaluating our launch and post-launch portfolio of maps. So yes, there was some misconception, I think, going around some chats earlier today and yesterday that Treyarch confirmed no doors in the beta. So what are these doors? They confirmed no manual doors from Modern Warfare, which I think Infinity Ward used the most within Warzone and their multiplayer. The automatic doors don't really bother me all that much, but I think some of these changes here are really important, especially for some of the sweatiest lobbies out there. Because if they go ahead and announce, hey, we're going to let you stay in the same lobby, we're going to remove disbanding lobbies, that's at least a step forward to fixing some of the sweat issues that people are feeling like exist right now inside of the beta, as if the game is like unplayable for some people. I've seen a lot of videos suggesting that. I get it. Based on the feedback we've already seen in the first 24 hours, we'll be making the following changes to the beta in the upcoming update, or in an upcoming update. So it could be any day from now until like the 7th or the 9th, right? Forcing specific automatic doors to remain open from the start of the match. That's good. Increasing how long automatic doors remain open before they close. Increasing the distance a player needs to be from the door before it will automatically open, and players can still shoot automatic doors to open them. So yeah, if you spawn in and somebody's already camping on a heady and the automatic door is closed, the person who walks through is just dead. Just as if it was a manual door. Like, it doesn't really make a difference if it's manual or automatic at this point with the way that they were designed. These changes will certainly improve everything across the board with doors. But changes we are considering for launch and beyond, evaluating a potential reduction in the number of automatic doors across our entire map portfolio. While some doors may make sense to remove, others may bring about new issues with opening undesired lines of sight. That's a good point too. Get rid of some of them, but not all of them, right? We will share more details as we have them, adding the ability to disable automatic doors in private matches for competitive testing. And that's cool too, because if people want to test that out in private matches, then the devs could see that and say, hey, somebody tested that in a private match. Let's just, you know, roll it out to pubs as well, where we just get rid of a door altogether, or maybe that line of sight isn't as bad as we thought, so we're going to get rid of that door too. That's cool. I think that's a good change altogether. I guess we'll see how the feedback gets implemented before the end of the beta. And that's what's important about a beta, right? Is implementing some changes during the beta. Maybe they stick, maybe they don't. And then we'll see, you know, what actually transfers over to the launch of the game. Weapon XP, overclock earn rate, spawns, and bug fixes. We've all seen discussion of weapon XP earn rates and want everybody to be able to unlock and test plenty of attachments during the beta so you can provide valuable feedback and we can gather important data. So we're going to help you out there. We're also doing the same for overclock earn rates, as well as adjusting our spawn system and knocking out some early bugs. Plan for tomorrow's update. So this will be October the 4th, a Saturday. Increasing weapon XP earn rate, increasing overclock earn rate for several loadout items and score streaks, adjustments made to spawn logic for improving spawning across several maps and modes. I think you've seen some of the toughest spawns on like hardpoint and be domination. Typically your objective modes is where you see some of those hectic spawns, even though you would think TDM would be the mode where that happens because there's no real flow or objective focus. Various bug fixes, including weapons. We'll be sharing more details on the items above when the patch goes live over the weekend. In the meantime, here's what's been fixed for today's update. As far as UI, address an issue on Steam where social menus would close when the player was set as away, address an error that could occur when navigating between menu tabs, and address an issue that could delay login. For stability, address various server stability issues related to player loadouts, the tracker perk, drone pod, pinpoint grenade, and skewer score streak. I also feel like they'll be adjusting some of the power of various field upgrades and score streaks, or even those like lethal pieces of equipment. I think some of these things are a little too broken, and I can't even imagine when folks start to unlock overclocks for them, what other changes are going to be needed to really ensure the best possible launch of the game in November. But see you in the lobby. Good luck against the undead. I also feel like people will run into inevitable zombie bugs within farm survival, so wouldn't be surprised if like by this Sunday, or maybe even tomorrow, we'll see, they'll end up adjusting some fundamental issues that may occur within the zombies portion of the beta. But just to remind you guys as well, it does look like there's other pieces of content that will be live during the open access window that aren't currently live right now. So Blackheart, that's a really good map. Really enjoyed it over at COD Next. You guys have seen it plenty in the multiplayer reveal trailer. You're probably aware of what that map is. And Toshin, a gorgeous map set in Tokyo. Also a map that I absolutely loved over at COD Next. Managed to go on like a 25 kill streak, and then somebody had active camo and just did a finishing move on me. It was pretty funny. That was a great map. Those won't be live until the open access period, so at some point on or after October the 5th. And then what else do we have? I think for modes, everything is just about release now, because Overload was the last mode I think they were going to drop. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think they're going to end up doing like face-off modes or anything, or gunfight. They could surprise us. Absolutely. yeah, for now, there's no other info on other maps or modes, but they're still saving some content for the open access period. Again, there could be surprises. We also have a level 30 level cap increase. We're not sure when that is. I'm assuming, okay, it's the open beta. They did say it. Okay, so in the open beta, you're going to be able to hit level 30 to get a blueprint and some other rewards that you can see right here, such as the Shadow perk, that's carrying forward from BO6, Shadow Rift, ammo mount for zombies, the Cap 40, aka the Coda 9, that's a pistol. There's also the Watchdog Hilo, the Guardian streaks and perks. Again, more beta rewards, the Bruiser perk, a Casimir for zombies. We got the Sight Grenade, the Mangler Cannon, some other streaks there. We got the Razor 9mm SMG. We also have a Needle Drone equipment, Hunter's Instinct perk, Perk Greed wildcard, the Vendetta perk, that's of course for multiplayer, Brain Rot for zombies, the Echo 12 shotgun, that's cool. That's also really good for zombies, but you could use it in any game mode. Squaddling Field upgrade, Ninja perk, the Looper perk for score streaks in multiplayer, Ether Shroud and zombies, and then lastly, the Rhino score streak and the beta blueprint called Beta Legend. So you only have about 2 days to actually use some of those zombie items because the zombie beta will end October 7th, 2 days after open access begins. But ladies and gentlemen, those are your patch notes for day 2 of the Black Ops 7 beta. All changes and brand new features coming over the next couple of days. With that being said, folks, appreciate all the love and support, and I will see you guys on stream.